Last time I had shingles, it was extremely uncomfortable. It was about 2 years ago in the summer, and I just had a miserable time with it. I'm sure if you've ever had shingles, you know exactly what I'm talking about. It's just a thoroughly unpleasant experience. Now, this last time, it was a complete non-event, and I want to share with you exactly what I did, because it was only getting some new information that allowed me to have what turned out to be really a non-event. But let me explain what went on, and then we'll get back to that if you stick around to the end. So I do a heavy metal detox at least once, sometimes twice a year. And one of the ways I approach that is using this, which is a biophotonic. It is the smallest and most powerful bioresonance device that I could find on the market. It's absolutely incredible thing. I was that impressed with it several years ago that I approached them and asked them if I could become an affiliate, and I've helped a lot of people with this device and a lot of animals too. It's an incredible thing. So I was running the heavy metal detox program, and I started to feel really, really ropey after the second day. And I thought, you know what, I can feel a bout of shingles coming on. I had that really kind of horrible ache I get, particularly down my legs, the very hypersensitive skin to temperature and touch. And sure enough, right here around my waistband, the side of my buttock, and actually my lower back, again where my belt was, which was really uncomfortable as moving around. Now, about just over a year ago, I think it was, I was talking to a good friend of mine, Steve Falconer, who runs a channel called Space Busters, about the tissue salts. Absolutely incredible things. They are the basic mineral building blocks that you and I are made of. They're, if you will, energy in mineral form. So when I started with this and thought that feels like shingles, I grabbed these two books. So this is the Zodiac and the Salts of Salvation, which is a very old book. I had to get a reprint of it by George W. Carey. And this one, The Biochemic System of Medicine, which is by George Carey and William Heinrich Schussler. You may have heard of Schussler salts. And I jumped into this and had a look and saw that for shingles, they recommended 2 tissue salts. So the first one was Nat Mur. There you go, Nat Mur. And the second one was Calimur. Okay, so all I did was I took 2 each of them about every 3 hours for the first 2 days. And something really interesting happened. By the end of the first day, the kind of nerve pain I was getting was starting to die down. Partway through the second day, where I carried on every 3 hours doing 2 of the tablets under my tongue, letting them dissolve each of them, I noticed that the skin sensitivity to temperature and touch was starting to calm down, and that the rash that had started to appear didn't seem to be progressing at all. By day 4, there was absolutely no pain and no sensitivity, and all I had on my skin was like a discoloration, like the start of a rash, or a bit like maybe the end of a bruise or something. We could see the marks of it, but there's nothing really happening. And by the end of a week, nothing had happened. The rash hadn't become anything. It hadn't suddenly burst. It hadn't got all scabby. None of that. All the pain was gone. It really was a complete non-event. And it was absolutely amazing. And that's all I did. I did one other thing. For the initial nerve pain, I also took some DMSO, which I've decanted in here, which is mixed 50-50 with some distilled water. And I just applied that to the skin. I wouldn't apply it to broken skin, but the skin never broke, so I applied it to the skin, and that certainly helped for me. It seemed to calm the nerve pain down as well. So that was it. The 2 tissue salts, and my shingles were a non-event. And should I ever have another bout of that coming up again, that's exactly what I'm going to be reaching for, and hopefully we get exactly the same result. And I just wanted to share that with you. I'll put a link in the description of this video so that you can read more about the tissue salts if you want. I've put some content together, and there's also some content I can share with some other people like Dr. Bar Lando, Dr. Amanda Vollmer, Steve Falconer, who I mentioned, and also Dawn Lester, who co-authored What Really Makes You Well, that amazing reference book. And that's it. I hope this serves you as well as it serves me. And I'll see you in the next video. Take care of yourself. Bye-bye.